back to Two Guys in the Outdoors. It's Bob. It's Jason.
Hey, tonight we got something, a lot of beginners, they ask us these questions. I know I've been asked a few times, and I believe Jason was just asked this past weekend. What is a good optic for a beginner to get? Okay. Now, that can be a very tricky question because I've asked it before. I've asked advice from different people, and depending on the person that you ask it, could be brand. It's like asking what is the best truck, right? So optics get to the point where it's almost an individual thing when you're doing it all the time. But what does a beginner? What should they be looking at?
There you go. That's a very good question, and I'm super excited about this because, and again, this is our opinion on, because there's a million different optics out there, and it is based on too where you're hunting. I mean, if you're hunting out west where you got the capabilities of shooting hundreds of yards, versus here in Virginia where the average shot on big game is 100 yards or less,
hundreds of inches.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited about what we're going to recommend.
So what we're going to do here is we're going to look at what I call bargain optics. Okay, and we're looking at,
and let's look at the classic scope first, because that's probably the most desirable and most common.
So this one here, it's actually on my muzzleloader. Okay, and it's just, I mean, I call it a bargain one. It's a Bushnell 3 and 9 by 40. Okay.
Well, it's a 3 by 9 by 40. Basically, it's got a 40 millimeter lens on the front, and it is a 9 power, so it will adjust up to
from 3 to 9. So 3 times the distance to 9 times the distance.
So we'll just keep it simple like that. But and it's got your standard inch tube, which is pretty much standard for most scopes. Adjustable windage and elevation. I believe this one is a quarter MOA at 100 yards. Yep, quarter MOA at 100 yards. But basically what that means is one click will move it a quarter inch at 100 yards. And these scopes are pretty solid as far as adjustments. At 100 yards, if you make one click, it's going to move roughly a quarter inch. So that's good.
So when I sighted this thing I was impressed that it went as easy as what it did. Okay, and it was true to what I measured because I was playing around with it and seeing how close it was. The biggest thing with optics, the more you spend, it's not necessarily on the outside that you see. It's all the glass that's inside. Okay, and the more expensive ones have better glass. We might as well just say that, right?
Yep.
Okay, they'll have better glass.
Clarity, better light gathering, and it all comes down to glass.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Now, you can make the argument that certain name brands, you're paying for the name of blah, 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 blah. But taking all that aside, when you're going into the more expensive ones, it's going to be glass. This one here retails right around $100. Okay. And I'll tell you where at the end. But this is not a bad one to start off with. And you'll see them a lot, especially on this muzzleloader I got here. It comes with the Bushnell.
Yep.
So
it's a good beginner bargain scope that's going to help a new hunter get started without breaking the bank, right?
Yep. So now what's a drawback from a scope? you got to make sure, here, let me have this a minute. You got to make sure that you have your same eyesight to where you get a good sight picture, right? Because you can't just do this. You got to be careful where it's mounted. Why, Jason?
So it fits you. And you have proper eye relief.
So with also some guns, firearms, you know, with that kick, okay, if it's too close, you'll get a nice little eye patch.
And for a Bargin scope such as this one, it has decent eye relief. So hold it up.
Actually, this isn't too bad.
Yeah, hold it up there to where you got full field of view.
Yep.
So Bob's got probably close to 3 inches of eye relief there, which is not bad for a Bargin scope.
Now, sometimes with these things, you have a tendency to have to only use one eye. Okay, it does take some practice to get in there and see it with both eyes open if you want to. Okay, your field of view is narrowed by you're looking through a tube. Okay, so that's some of the drawbacks to these.
And the more magnification, the narrower your field of view gets as well.
Right,
yeah.
Right. So if you get like a 4 and 12 and you're shooting only about 20 yards, well, you can't get any closer than 4 times. So that thing's going to be like really super close before you even change it. Okay. So there's a variety of different sizes and all that stuff. But that's not a bad one for a Bargin type.
Yeah,
scope,
for a beginner that doesn't want to break the bank, and you know, the reliability is well on them, and Bushnell has a great warranty program as well.
Now let's just talk about scopes a little bit. You can get them, some scopes, some real no-name brands, down around the $65 mark.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would steer away from them a little bit, probably. But you can do it. And they can go up as high as $3,000. Okay. Now, we're not a site that we're talking about, but if you get into the thermal side of the world,
mm-hmm.
Now what are we talking?
You're talking mega money.
800 to $6,000.
Yep.
Okay. So you can't get into a scope for less than $800. All right. So this Bushnell, I would say that would be a good one to start off with if you're looking for a rifle scope or even a shotgun scope. Okay. So that's the standard. That's the scope. That's what.
Mm-hmm. That's what most people are going to mount on their rifle or muzzle loader for deer hunting, bear hunting. And the advantages of a scope, you do have magnification.
Mm-hmm.
You do have that crosshair. Once that is lined in, then it's a lot less human error as far as lining up sights, open sights, so to speak. So that's the reason a lot of people use scopes. 1, magnification, and 2, it really cuts down on human error.
Yep. So the next set of scopes that we're going to look at is 2 different red dots. Now, I say that you can get a regular scope, just like what we did. Okay, not that Bushnell, not the Bargin type scopes, but when you get into the higher end scopes, you can get those in red dots.
Yep. Or they have an illuminated reticle.
Yeah.
Yep.
I call them red dots because they're red dot.
Close enough.
Okay, so now let's go with this one first.
All right.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is this one here. I want to make sure I put it on the right way. So this is an actual red dot. So it's close to a rifle, or it's close to a regular scope. Okay. But now we're talking battery operated.
Yep, mounts to a Picatinny rail or a Weaver style base, which is what Bob's got on his shotgun here.
Now this one here came with these flip ups. Okay. They actually come off. So, which I'm going to take off for this.
It's just a lens protector.
Yeah.
Keep your lenses clear and no magnification.
Nope. And so that would be red. Okay. So this one here has got red and green.
Nice.
Okay. And different sizes.
Yep, you can change the dot size.
Okay.
We wish we could show you in the video the size of the dot, but
if I can figure out how to get the camera in there, I might add it to the video. But as of now, we can't. But just to let you know a little bit, it's one-time magnification, so it's exactly what you see. 30 millimeter by 22. One MOA per click. 1 MOA per click of movement. The length is about 3 inches. So you can see it's much shorter than a scope. Okay?
And lighter.
And lighter.
So if you're a mountain hunter, where weight is a factor, then something like this might be something you might be looking for as far as purchasing.
Now it takes, I think I read that stuff. So it takes a normal 2032, okay, and that goes right underneath the cap here, okay, so right where you turn it on and off. This does not have auto off, okay, but it says a crisp 4 MOA single dot reticle. It's both red and green, 5 brightness, and as he said, Picatinny and Weaver and matte black. So
now, how much does something like this cost?
This one is $59.97.
And it's made by?
This is called UTG. So not a well-known name, not a big name. It's not your Vortex or your Leopolds or Bushnell or anything like that. But it's in the Bargin realm. Okay.
And we're going to give this thing a try and let you know in a few months how it holds up, right?
Yeah. I bought these just to see how it worked. Okay. Because I'm looking for something different. I was using a scope on my turkey gun, but I want to change to the red dot. But I didn't know which one I wanted. Okay. Because there's this style here. And I'll say this one has one main thing that the scope has. Some similarity. And that's that field of view that you have by looking through a tube. Okay? Anytime you look through a tube, it sort of interferes a little bit.
It cuts down your field of view. You
Yeah.
can't see, you can only see what's out there by
through that tube.
Yeah, by the diameter. Yeah.
Okay. So, but it's not a bad, there's, I interviewed quite a few different people to see what they use, and half of them use this, and half of them use the other one that we're going to look at.
Yeah.
Okay. But so this one's down around the $60 realm. Okay. So that Bushnell scope was around the $100. This one's around $60. And then the next one we got, and this style is quite common. I see these out there a lot. And both of them came with the tools to hook it all up and everything. They both came with covers.
Lens cover, yep.
Okay.
Just a rubber cover. Now, I'm just going to look through this real quick, Bob. Yeah, you have a much wider field of view. And the good thing about this style is you can, if you're prone to shooting both eyes open, which a lot of people do, you have full field of view. So this would be like looking at your target with your bare eyes, both eyes open. Just your peripheral vision or your focal point is going to be on that red dot, which is going to be your point of impact.
I'm going to point this to you. You see the thinness of these walls. So it's less interference. When you're looking through there, you're not being obstructed by like this one.
Yeah, so you lose field of view. I like this. Boy, it's got a nice crosshair.
So that one's got seven different types of adjustments. Okay, so it goes from like what Jason just said. It's a nice crosshair, big. Okay, and then the other end of this thing is, I believe it's just a dot. Go in there and look.
It's a smaller crosshair. Is where you got it right now.
Okay, then it's all crosshairs. Just they make them the crosshairs bigger. Okay, so this one had dots, and you had a choice of a red and a green. Okay.
Yeah, this one has the dot and a crosshair, and it just has. You can make it brighter or dimmer.
Yeah, and that one's strictly red. Now it also takes the 2032 battery. Okay, and both of them came with batteries. Okay, and you still have the windage adjustments. Okay, there's one here.
And one on the side.
Is that it? That's, yeah, here, and then there's another adjustment here. Oh, here it is. This is what I was looking. Okay, now look through it.
So it does.
There's 3 different adjustments on what you're looking at. Either a dot with a crosshair, and I think it's a crosshair with a circle.
You got a crosshair with a circle, crosshairs with a dot, and then a circle with a dot.
There you go.
Which would be awesome for turkey hunting because you get his head and neck inside that circle. Ball game over.
That's right.
Heck yeah, I like that.
And this is the one I'll probably go with. Now, I made a mistake. I probably won't use this particular one. I'll probably put this on my 22. Because you do got to pay attention when they advertise. I believe it was this one. Maybe I was wrong. If I was wrong, thumbs up. But I'll just tell you, be careful when you're looking at them if they say for rimfire only. Okay?
So what that means is it probably won't stay zeroed with the recoil from heavy turkey loads out of this gun. So when you're buying your sight, you want to make sure that it is rated for shotgun rifle, so it can withstand the recoil that it's gonna give.
But I think I'm safe on this one. That rimfire one must have been the other one I was looking at. Now this one here, it's a bit more than this one. It's still within that $100 range, but this one's $80. I think $79.98 or something like that. $79.38. Okay, for this one.
I really like it because of the field of view.
And it doesn't have the auto shut off or anything like that.
Ball game over. I love it.
And this is very similar to the one that you just purchased.
Yep.
Except for...
mine has a few more bells and whistles.
It's shorter.
Yep.
Okay. And that's another thing with this one.
And it has the auto shut off and shake awake.
And shake awake. So this one here is Bargin. When you get Bargin, it's getting the bare necessities, okay? But in doing so, a lot of times, they'll stand up a little taller, okay? So you got to take that in consideration too. Okay.
But the good thing about this, you could move, especially with the mounting system that you have, that saddle, you could move that thing forward to where it's going to have a little bit of a lower profile for you. So that's going to help you there.
Yeah. This is the one I want to go with, but I wanted to test this one out too, which I may. I just may do it on another rifle. I turned it too, so it's...
Let me...
So,
I'm just going to move it forward and see if my theory is right with lowering the, yeah.
Okay.
So you notice my head's not up as high now.
The one good thing about both of these, go ahead, sorry, Jason.
No, just, but you don't have that capability on all mounting systems, but this particular style, you have a lot of adjustment. So moving that forward allows you to get your head down on the gun a little bit better than when it slid all the way back.
Oh, yeah.
Not a whole lot, but you get some.
But the one thing good about the red dots, that's why people go with them. It's more of point, shoot. Okay? They're a little bit more forgiving than a scope. Do you agree with that?
Well, you got a wider field of view. You don't have any magnification though, so that's a disadvantage.
Yep.
You know, this is really good for moderate ranges. You know, I would say
under the 40 yard.
You know, 100 yards and under because of the magnification. For turkey hunting, moving game, you know, you can both eyes open, you can follow that.
And on that one, I watched a guy with one of these shooting claybirds, hitting every one of them. I was shocked. I didn't think he could do it.
Yep. So there you go. You got some really good sighting systems for under $100.
Under $100.
And you have different styles. Do your homework. I'm just gonna turn this off. There we go. It just depends on, you know, if you're deer hunting and you have and you need magnification, then definitely a scope.
Go with a scope.
If you're turkey hunting, small game hunting, pistols, AR platforms, these red dots are awesome because you get quick target
acquisition.
Yep.
Now, I will say one thing, and I do have this on my AR, and I thought about bringing it tonight, but I didn't. They have magnifiers that you can put on here too. So like with my other, I have another red dot similar to this. Okay. I put that on my AR with a magnifier, and it really
gives you a little more magnification. Yeah.
And it was about the size of this. So
cool.
So you can see Jason's pick already. He's game on this, and I have to say full disclosure, he already bought this type of them. Not this one,
but I'm going to give this style a shot for my turkey gun this year.
Yeah,
I've always used scope because I like magnification, but scopes will tattoo you. I've got a couple scars here between my eyes, and so I'm going to give the red dot a try.
I've started a outdoor store, okay, and I'm going to do a plug here. So, because they actually sponsor us now.
They do.
So I started an outdoor store called Rocktown Outdoors, okay, and that's where I got these from, okay. So I gave you the prices. That's off my website, okay. The other thing I'll let you know, this type of sight, depending on what you want, they range anywhere from $35 to $800. Okay, so you can really go down cheap. Okay, and then this type of red dot ranges anywhere from $50 to $700. Okay,
just depends on how much bells and whistles you want, and but
go in there and check out Rocktown Outdoors. Jason actually is a customer of them now.
Yep, I just purchased my red dot style sight just like that.
Get out in the outdoors. Have some fun.
Keep it simple. And remember, these beginner Bargin optics sights that won't break the bank. Like always, keep it simple, and we'll see you next time.
Have some fun.